As we all know, your boy loves Spider-Man. And once one of the things I always wondered, who would win? Ant-Man, Black Widow, or Spider-Man? Well, today we are watching 1,000 ants versus a Black Widow.
If 1,000 ants had to fight a Black Widow, what would actually happen?
Ant-Man
Would the
versus Black
spider's
Widow.
venom come out on top, or would the sheer number of ants overwhelm her?
Good
Well, in
question.
this video, I'm gonna test ants against that and tons of other interesting scenarios
Oh,
to see
shit.
how strong ants really are.
The only problem is I don't have 1,000 ants. Thankfully, I found this website that sells just that.
300? 300 for some ants? Can't you just go outside and just, you know, scoop up? Oh wait, it's mystery species. Oh shit, you got a loot box in here? What's going on?
Mystery species, meaning we might actually get something really good. $300. Let's just add this to the
Bro,
cart.
buy
And
the
I
loot
bought the
box.
most expensive shipping option to make sure the ants would arrive without any dying during the shipping.
Oh, I am so excited. As long as I get a good species, it's gonna be so fun to watch these go against the Black Widow and everything else I have planned for
Coming
them.
up.
Anyways, I brought them to the recording area and opened up the package, and I was kind of
Wait, how
surprised by
do
what
they
I
do this? Don't they dive? There's no holes for the animals to breathe? Or is it only mammals and not really insects?
No, are they in here? Oh my gosh, okay, there actually is like
they
a
are
1,000.
alive.
Okay, at least
Right?
I didn't get scammed.
Hopefully
Since
they're
they were
alive.
in a pill bottle, I couldn't really get a good look at them, so I got a clear container and dumped them all inside.
Oh,
Instantly,
shit,
you could
they're
now see
alive.
the true scale of what 1,000 ants actually looks like.
Holy
And at least,
shit.
I mean, I think it's 1,000. I'm not counting all these guys. And after
Yeah.
analyzing the species, I realized
What
that these
ant
were
species?
harvester ants, which are
Oh,
equipped with
I didn't even
venomous
have to
stingers
question it.
and massive mandibles, meaning yes, this was actually going to be a very interesting video with everything I was going
Okay,
to test.
so we
Now, for these
have...
1,000 ants to be able to fight a Black Widow, we first need to get them in a nest. And well, everyone say hello to the Terra jar. It's like terragreen, except I replaced the green with a jar. Anyways, let me go and dump all these guys in
Alright.
here. Be free, everyone. This is way bigger
What did
than
that do?
tiny pill bottle you were in.
Right away, you could see the ants starting to move around on top of the soil. Now, you might be thinking that this isn't enough space for the ants. Well, it actually is, because this is specifically designed for the ants to dig out tunnels all along the sides of the glass. And as the video
okay,
progresses, we're
that
going to see
makes
their nest get
sense.
crazier and crazier. And yeah, most of the ants were kind of going crazy trying to climb up the glass, but after leaving them alone for only a few hours, you could see they were already starting to construct their tunnel system.
Yup.
Each of the worker ants would pick up singular grains of sand from the tunnels, walk up to the
Singular?
surface, drop the sand, and go back down to repeat the process.
Dude, imagine
when you have
doing this
1,000
for
ants,
your
you can
whole
see
life.
they dig out a pretty good amount.
Wait,
and
how much do ants live for? So about a year. So imagine doing that for a full year. Just straight up grabbing one grain at a time.
only just an hour of this time-lapse footage.
Oh yeah, it's sick to see the ants already starting to build their nest, and it should be
Dang, that
fully
was going
dug out
deep.
by the end of the video. Anyways, as you know, I'll be putting these guys to the test against a Black Widow.
Oh
but
my
before that,
God,
I
that
have
Black-
all
I
of
did
these
not know
different
Black
training
Widows looked like
activities
that.
to prepare the ants for the final spider boss.
Crickets?
Second up, we're gonna see how fast they can take down some prey. Yup. We've got a cricket.
Wait,
oh my
that's how
gosh,
small they
crickets
are?
hate me, and sorry, buddy, you are gonna be, well, I guess you guys will just see what's about to happen.
And well, right after
No.
dropping the cricket in, literally
Run.
within like a nanosecond,
Oh, shit,
the
they
ants
jumping
were
them.
swarming it. I thought it
Yo,
would only
they
take like a
jump on
couple minutes,
mans.
but no. This cricket was already pinned down, getting venom injected into him. As I
Oh,
said
GGs.
earlier, each of these ants is equipped with a
GGs.
venomous stinger that is obviously not super deadly to humans, but to crickets,
Oh my
when
God,
there's
this
like
was
20 ants
penetrating
repeatedly
it.
stinging you, you're kind of done for. Yep, ants don't play around when there's a threat near their nest, and you can see over the next 30 minutes, the cricket stayed completely surrounded by the ants.
Oh, no,
And I'm
yeah,
guessing
no, we
they
got
already
jumped.
started to rip its
Hey, we
antennas
lost the
off
real
and
one.
started to get a tasty meal to spread with the rest of the colony.
Dang, that was cool to watch. Anyways, it's getting late, so I think I'm gonna go and put this bucket on top of the ants so it's dark for them. I'm gonna go to sleep, and hopefully when I wake up,
Do
they
they
can
come
be
out?
cleansed.
Oh wait, no, never mind. I was just about to say, do they come out at night? But I'm guessing he's doing it to simulate nighttime in the real world.
Tunnels. Anyways, yeah, I'll see you guys in the morning.
And over those next 10 hours, the ants made their tunnels so much larger and more intricate than before. And on the back, they even had tunnels
Oh,
all the way down at the
shit.
bottom with ants
Now, whoever's
actively
down there
walking
is
about the
grinding.
whole system.
Anyway, ants, it's
Literally.
8 a.m., and that means it's time. As you can see, the alarm's going off. It's time for challenge number 3.
What is that,
Let's get these ants
quicksand?
trained even more.
For this training, I have to pick up one unlucky ant and transport him to the ant lion pit. If you don't know what an ant lion is, well, this is it. It's just a tiny little bug that has actually evolved over millions of years to be an expert at taking down ants. Basically, when you go and put them on
Nah.
the floor, they start to dig themselves under the ground, and then they just go around digging. And I have 9 more of these guys, which I spread across
Bro,
the whole
this is a
tank.
goddamn they have landmines. Yo, you got the running on landmines. GG's.
See, they all dig around, making these little lines in the ground. But after waiting a few hours, you can see that each of the antlions had actually dug out their own little pits in the ground. And when an ant walks into the bottom of them, they're basically cooked.
All right, Ant, I'm gonna put you right at the start. And at the end, I'm gonna put some breadcrumbs so you can bring back to the colony if you survive this.
Yep, and without further ado, I let the ant loose. Let's see if he can get the bread.
Come on, I believe in the underdogs.
Immediately, he started to explore around the sand area. He had no idea that he was constantly walking near these pits of death. And eventually, he took a wrong step and stumbled inside.
No!
These pits are specifically designed to make the ants trip into them. But the ant lion at the bottom must have been sleeping or something, because nothing happened and the ant was just able to walk.
No way! He's him. I'm gonna keep it a buck. This ant is him.
But if you look closely, this caused the antlion to wake up. He was now active and armed, with his mandibles now throwing up sand in case the ant walked in again. And over the next few minutes, the ant did just that. He kept walking inside of the pit, but the antlion just could never quite snap on the ant at the right time. Well, that was until this. You see, this is paused footage, but basically if we unpause it, you can see exactly what happens when an antlion gets a hold of the ant. The antlion started to bring the ant underground. Within a few seconds, it was like there was never anything even here. I thought it was over, and you could tell by the sand moving that the ant was getting pulled further
The Undertaker got him!
But all of a sudden, I saw this. A little bit of the ant's head had poked out of the ground. He somehow was fighting back, and must have been using its stinger to try and escape. I immediately rushed back and recorded with my other camera, and what I saw was so weird. The ant had somehow made it out from under the sand.
Let's go!
It may not mean nothing.
What I say? Where's the underdog?
In fact, it was using its front legs to try and dig back under the ground.
Oh, he wanted more smoke.
Heck, why is this ant
He wants
digging
more.
like a dog? He's literally using his front legs.
Police steady watching me. Every day they clocking me.
He said, what they at?
No,
What they
bro,
at?
if you want to be eaten by an antlion that bad, I will gladly put you
No.
right there.
No, what are you doing?
Right after putting him in this pit,
Yeah.
this antlion also woke up and eventually snapped at the ants. And it once again started to pull him underground. But miraculously, this ant was able to fight back once again and somehow broke and straight over to the breadcrumbs to claim his prize. Nah, this ant tricked me to have me move him closer to the bread, and now he somehow won the challenge.
See? This is my goat right here. This is why I believe ants are smart. What you just saw was Eisenhower level of manipulation and strategy.
Bro, there is something up with these ants. I'm being dead serious. How on earth did he escape the antlion pit over here? And how on earth did he escape this one and then know to go to the bread? And now he's trying to bring bread back to the colony.
He's him. This is Aura. That's Aura.
I'll bring you and all the bread back to the colony.
So I brought it all over to the nest.
If the queen not letting him smash, I'm gonna keep it above. He gotta air that whole place out. This man just went through a hell pit to come back with bread. You know what I'm saying? You know, if I'm the queen, I have to let bro smash. He just saved us.
And the entire colony was clearly super excited because they all swarmed the bread and started taking little pieces of it underground. Anyways, I went and waited a few hours and came back to find the nest even bigger once again. But the ants still are not done with their training sessions, and next up, we had to see if they can survive some Venus flytraps for some food. So I immediately picked up some of the workers to bring them to the flytrap minefield, completely decked out with tons of Venus flytrap plants.
This is meant for plants or zombies, not ants.
We got a gorilla. I'm just kidding. I don't know why it's packaged in this. Basically what it is just a bunch of oats, and I'm just gonna feed these to the ants. Let's put them inside.
Now they're probably laced with some. I don't trust
has these tiny little trigger hairs inside of them, and when something touches them, it causes them to close. And if I carefully put the oats in between the hairs without hitting any of them, I can basically just put the food in here, which will make the ants have to carry them out.
Okay.
But it was actually pretty hard.
My question is, what happens with these plants? Like once the ant has triggered it, how does eat? Because he doesn't have a mouth, as you can see here. It doesn't have like a esophagus to go down into the stomach. Does he wait for it to fully dissolve, or like how does he get his nutrients? You know what I'm saying?
To get the oats perfectly inside, so I ended up just spreading the oats everywhere around the tank.
All right, let's see how the ants do in here. I have a feeling they're not gonna do too well, but yeah, we'll see.
Immediately, the ants had started to swarm out the tube that I put them in, and they were probably really confused of why they were all just transported away from their nest. And for a little while, they kind of just walked around, investigating their new environment. That was until a couple minutes later, where this first ant walked up to a Venus flytrap plant. He probably had no idea that these plants were basically alive and wanted to eat him whole. Thankfully, though, this guy was able to walk out of the plants without triggering any of the traps. However, a few minutes later, this ant walked up to another one of the plants, and well, this time all I'll say is he wasn't as lucky. Surprisingly, he wasn't super attracted to the oats, but it did seem like he may have been attracted to the traps themselves. You see, Venus flytraps create a very thin layer of nectar around the lip of the jaws to lure insects in, and eventually this ant ended up—
Hold on, this plant's smart. Now I see why he was in Plants vs Zombies. Shout out to this plant.
Well, walking into one, hitting a trigger hair, and just like that, he was now stuck inside of the jaws. As you can see, the ant was just walking around inside trying to escape, and he had no idea what to do.
So how does it work?
Guy, this trap is going to release a type of acid over the next few days to basically just turn him into some nutrients to make the plant even stronger. Now, interestingly enough, pretty much all the ants I had put inside—
That's how it works. It releases its acid, dissolving him and, you know, getting the nutrients. That's what I was wondering.
We're staying away from the traps, and we're all grouped up around this corner. In fact, they were actually starting the process of digging some more tunnels. Now, these ants still think they're in the nest. They're just trying to dig. Well, I mean, I guess it's pretty smart if you're not getting eaten by the traps. Because over the next 20 minutes, only one single ant came across another Venus flytrap. This guy. Let's call him Larry. Now, Larry is a daredevil because he was walking all over the jaws of all of these plants, absolutely risking it for the biscuit. But eventually, Larry's luck ran out because of this.
Larry!
The jaw had closed on him, leaving half of his body stuck out of it. But this was actually pretty good for Larry because it means he had a chance to escape. Using all of his strength, which, albeit is not very much,
don't give up!
Pushing himself out of the
I believe in you! Come on! Come on, Larry! Escape!
For Larry, some cheated nature and used my pieces to open.
Yes!
Every single ant survived except one. So I brought them all back to the nest and gave the whole colony a bunch of these little gorilla oats to show my support. As you can see, it didn't take long for some of the ants to start moving
Another
the oats
victory
down
for
to
the
their
ants.
intricate tunnel systems. And speaking of these tunnel systems, the last training session I'm putting these ants through before the Black Widow is a flood simulation. Yeah, I'm flooding this ant nest.
Well, kinda, because if I actually flooded this thing, it would kill every single ant. So instead, I've got this thing called the Little Dripper, which, as you can see, drips some water droplets very slowly.
Yeah, it might seem kind of lame, but this little bit of water should be enough to eventually collapse part of the ants' tunnel system. And if it does collapse, if they can fix it quickly, it means they would have passed all my training missions, and that means they're ready
the Black Widow, the main
So I
main
immediately
boss.
started to drop the little droplets of water. And initially, the ants were very confused. Some of the droplets were hitting the ants and making them get completely drenched in water. But to my surprise, it almost seemed like the ants wanted to get wet, because more and more of the ants started to gather around where the water was dropping. And eventually, a whole pile of ants was getting completely soaked by it. See, ants are amazing in their ability to work as a team. And in the wild, if a real flood occurred, a massive ant colony would literally join together to make a raft out of their bodies.
I'm gonna keep it a bug. Ants are so interesting and so fire. You know, I look and regret stepping on them. You know, I will take accountability. I did step on them. But now that I think of it, it's like, now I see why Ant-Man's so goated. This man got all these little ants as his helpers? Hell yeah, dude. Now, imagine being the one like in the middle right here, but you're like underwater. Like, how do you breathe? Are you like into somebody's butt like, please, I need to breathe? Like, how does that work? Whoever's like at the bottom base, how, like, alright, yeah, this is like fascinating.
Important stuff like the queen and eggs could stay on the top and stay dry to ensure the future of the colony. And on a mini scale, this is sort of what the ants are doing here. They're joining together to make a shield out of their bodies that will prevent the water from getting into their tunnels where all the eggs are stored.
Wow, ants are actually amazing. I was totally expecting these tunnels to just collapse from the water, but it seems like ants have literally evolved to do pretty much anything. I'll remove this water. I don't want to do any more harm. You guys prove to me you're very capable.
And throughout that process, they managed to build an awesome nest with a thriving colony.
It is safe to say these ants are ready for my Black Widow. Now, this is actually my last Black Widow because all the other ones from my other videos have escaped. Yeah,
but anyways, I went and put the Black Widow in a container so you guys could get a good look at it. And as you can tell, it has that insane, iconic red hourglass abdomen. Wait, sorry, this is my pet robot Black Widow.
I'm about to say, she don't look like Scarlett Johansson.
Black Widow. As you can tell, it's extremely creepy, and under its glossy black abdomen is where the red hourglass glass is located. These guys have an insane amount of venom, so if it even bites a single ant, it's safe to say it's gonna be a goner. Anyways, here is the tank where the final battle will take place. I went and put a few sticks in my backyard, then I put in the Black Widow. Immediately, she started climbing all over the sticks, and I went and waited a little while she sort of settled in and found a nice spot to rest. Once she did, I went to the ant nest, scooped a...
Would I die if I took a venom hit from a Black Widow? Okay. Well, Black Widow bites are venomous and causes significant discomfort. Fatalities are extremely rare, especially with the modern medical care. The venom produces several symptoms known as the veterodistism, but these are non-life-threatening for healthy adults. Okay, so I am a healthy adult, so I think I would not die. That means I could smash Scarlett Johansson.
A good amount of the workers into a tube so we could get this battle started.
Let's get these ants in here. Let the games begin!
Prepare the battle!
Immediately, the ants started to run out of the tube and down onto the sand. When pretty much all of the ants had made it down to the sand, some started to make their way over to the Black Widow, which was just perched right above them on the sticks. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm a pretty impatient guy, and I couldn't bear to wait for the battle to start. So I literally picked up the stick myself to bring the spider down to the ants. Immediately, the spider started to run around, and none of the ants really noticed besides this guy. That kind of bit the spider's leg or something and scared it away. The spider tried to escape as fast as it could by climbing the glass, but it was too slick. Once a few other of the ants had noticed the Black Widow was on the ground, they started to jump it. And it was actually pretty funny to watch, because as you can see, there's barely any ants, and the spider was so scared, trying to run away at full speed. Bro, you're like the most venomous spider in the world. Why are you not just fighting back?
Shit, they have feelings too. Just like how we're human, we're the best. You think a monkey ain't gonna make me cry? If he told me, you know, if he start roasting me, of course I'm gonna cry, dude.
And yeah, a couple of the ants just kind of continued to terrorize the Black Widow. But the thing is, all of the rest of the ants were kind of just doing their own thing at the other side of the enclosure. I had to make this more interesting, so I had a better plan. I went and picked up all of the ants to bring them back to the nest.
Alright, well, I got the Black Widow from the tank, and hey, the title did say 1,000
No!
ants versus Black Widow. Let's actually put this to the test against 1,000 ants.
Well,
no!
Started going crazy.
Oh my god!
And obviously the ants were not active. Every single worker went on red alert mode and jumped onto the spider, grabbing her with their mandibles and repeatedly stinging it. You saw with the cricket, ants do not mess around with stuff. And to my surprise, Black Widow started getting a chance to fight.
I got jumped!
How quickly the ants were moving down and swarming. And yeah, well, that's really all that happened. And that should answer the question of who wins next. 1,000 ants definitely wins, and they basically beat everything. There's a reason why ants are the secret king of the animal kingdom, because there's quadrillions of ants around the world.
Hey, I'm never stepping on them. You know what I'm saying? I learned my lesson. I will no longer be stepping on ants. In fact, I will be giving them crumbs every time I see them. Shout out to terragreen. You know what I'm saying? W video. Shout out to terragreen. Let's give it a like. That is the end of the video. You guys let me know what you guys thought about this in the comments below. If you guys enjoyed, make sure you guys like and subscribe. We're really close to 220 subscribers. We're like, what, one away? So if you guys can help me get there, I would appreciate it. But that's about it, guys. See you guys in the next video. Goodbye.